we are in Gran Turismo with Daily Race C at Dragon Tail Seaside, and we are in Group 4. So, go for my normal formula, don't do any qualifying, start at the back, see how I do, have a bit of fun with it. So, yeah, so it's like this race, yeah, you know, it wasn't like accelerating high pace sort of thing, you know, you're in Group 4 cars, they're not exactly majorly fast or anything like that, you know, it was just a nice simple race, you know, it was nice and easy, and a nice easy pace, so, you know, nothing too extravagant, shall we say, or at least to begin, you know, at the beginning it was a bit more, you know, it was a bit more simpler at the beginning, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, on this, racing hards was mandatory, but you also had choice of mediums. Refueling, no need. There was no need to refuel on this. And originally I was going to try and do just basically do the hards, stay on the hard tyre without no pit stop whatsoever, because it was doable. But as you saw, I'm driving the Audi TT, and yeah, it's sort of like, you know, I messed around with brake bias, but the front tyres were still just, they wore down too quickly compared to the backs. So it was like, you know what, I'm going to slightly change the way that I was thinking originally doing it, and I will actually do it, you know, I will pit in and change into the mediums around about halfway through the race, I believe it was. But I was originally going to try and do a no-stopper, but I think the Audi TT was not the car to do that with. Again, just because of the front tyre where it was just, they just worn down too quickly. Even with the brake bars quite far to the back, they still wore down a lot quicker. And you can see the chicane of death has already claimed one victim. There he is, there he goes. So it already claimed one victim. That guy, obviously the Finnish guy there, didn't have the best exit, so managed to get past him as well. So we climb up to 14th. You know, managed to climb up a few positions. So all in all, not terrible so far. I mean, okay, yeah, still down in 14th, but you know, I did start at the back. So, you know, what do I expect? I don't expect a lot to happen in the way of gaining positions from the back. So. But as you can see, I've got a bit of an open gap in front of me now. French guy there, just losing it a little bit, but managed to keep it on. 12th place there with a 1 second penalty. So we're going around here. There's a few people here, you know, so I could possibly gain a few more positions potentially. Obviously, we're going to pass the Spanish driver there. Obviously get the added penalty, so you know we're going to pass him. French guy being a bit dirty there. You know, was that really cool for? Not really. But the only problem is he didn't even get a penalty for that. I was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. He shoved that other driver off. Why didn't he get a penalty? You know. Obviously, I go a little bit wide there. Get it a little bit wrong. I don't really lose anything. Oh, and this I do. What am I on about? I completely forgot that other Audi TT was there. So he managed to gain position. I just get like the turning for this corner a little bit off, so I could have done that faster. But I started to initially turn in a little bit too early for that chicane. But it's not all losses. We still managed to at least gain one position on lap 2. You know, so any progress is going up. So as you can see, I've got my the brake bias right to the back, because I already had it at brake bias of 3, but I decided to put it right to the far back. But to me, it didn't really make all that much difference with the tyre wear on the front tyres. They were still going down a lot quicker than the backs, and obviously due to how some of these corners are, especially with that chicane for example, now I want to try and keep my front tyres in the best condition that they can be. And also, since by the fact that this is a front engine front wheel drive car, its turning can, especially if when the front tyres start wearing down, the turning can be dramatically altered. So its turn ability is then just absolutely shoddily diabolical. And trying to get for that chicane at like high speed with bad front tyres ain't gonna happen. It just ain't gonna happen. But as you can see, I managed to gain a little bit of ground. And again, there I just turn in at the wrong time. Lucky enough, I didn't get claimed like that one driver. I didn't get claimed by the chicane to death. But again, I just started turning at the wrong time, so therefore, unfortunately, hit the wall on the way out. So obviously, would have lost a bit of ground on the people in front of me. But I managed to get it. I'm still, managed to get up in 12th, now in 11th, because obviously the guy in 11th actually pitted in. So I managed to gain two positions, all in all, so far. So all in all, it's not going too bad. Yes, it's not going the smoothest. A couple of mistakes here, a couple of small mistakes there. But I'm still keeping up an alright pace. Any position gained is good at this present moment in time. And plus also, as well as this time as well, I'm also thinking like, I'm not totally sure what other pit strategies other people have gone for, whether people are going to try and do the no stopper, or if people are going to go on to the mediums, and you got all these other little things going on. They're almost halfway through the race. Hopefully this time I have a bit of a better corner this time. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So wide that time. So I have a slightly better corner there, so hopefully we have a slightly better chicane this time as well, hopefully. Still gaining time on my lap times. So I'm slowly going faster. There you go. Slightly better chicane that time. A slight tap on the wall on the way out, but nothing significant. And also managed to gain another position. It wasn't obviously unfortunately not really close enough to try and go for a move up from the inside there on Torek. But managed to catch up. Doesn't matter because he's going to pit in anyway. So that guy goes, another person goes in as well. And managed to get myself up to 7th. And set myself a new fastest lap. Not fastest lap of the race, but my fastest lap. As you can see with my lap times, I am slowly getting, kind of oddly enough, I'm slowly getting faster and faster as the tyres get worse and worse and worse. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but yeah, that's just the way that it went. Alright, so I'm gonna go try and catch up to 6, and I do believe it was this lap I pitted in. It's either this lap or the next lap I pitted in. I can't quite remember now. But I got an alright gap behind me, so I got no threats to deal with just yet. But yeah, unfortunately there is a bit of a gap between me and 6 as well. But since I'm not under pressure from anyone from behind, obviously I can concentrate more on just trying to actually catch up with 6th place. Alright, so here we go with the chicane of death once again. This time, there you go, not too bad that time, not too bad. Another person pitting in then. Now the only problem I have with the Audi TT is obviously its whole back acceleration. And yeah, it's my pitting lap. So now I'm going to be changing to the medium tyres. But yeah, my only problem with the ATT is how the back wheels spin when you accelerate when you're coming out from a corner. It's sort of like you kind of sort of like lock in place for like a couple of seconds or so. Now I can see this person's coming behind me, and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna. Now that was probably a bit of a bad. So I got a 2-second penalty for that, and yeah, I would probably a bit of a bad judgment from me then, even though the person who ran into the back of me could have gone to the right hand side as well, but he probably wasn't expecting me to try and to start going to take the defensive line. So I get a 2-second penalty. So you know, in that kind of circumstance, it's like, all right, fair enough. I mean, was it really worth a 2-second penalty? Don't know. But you know, I had no idea to go and take the defensive line because I could see that he was coming up. And obviously he was like, oh, I'm going to try and go to the outside, you know, sort of thing. And it's, you know, he probably didn't expect me to go take the defensive line. I was kind of expecting him to go to the right hand side. That wasn't the case. I get myself a 2-second penalty, which, you know, in the circumstances, like, that's fair enough. Nice. And then a slightly rough chicane there. But yeah, that 2-second penalty, yeah, I'll say it was a fair enough one. But it was not an intentional block him off to screw him over, or well, screw them over. It could be a woman driving, but you know, but to screw them over. I just wanted to try and get to take the defensive line because I could see that they were coming up in my rear view mirror. But it didn't matter too much anyway because they pitted in. So I was like, well, I'm going to overtake them now anyway. So it doesn't really matter too much now. I find myself in 10th place now. Got a bit of a gap in front of me, but I got a bit of a gap from the person behind as well. So all in all, not too shabby. Probably a bit of a slow corner there as well, but can I do? Apart from do it faster, I can do that technically. So you can see, you know, yeah, this hasn't been like the most eventful race, but at least it hasn't been. I mean, there were probably smatterings of people bumping each other and stuff like this, stuff like that. There was probably smatterings of that because I haven't gone and checked for like everybody to replay to see what happens, you know. But from my perspective, it's not actually been a bad race, and it's, you know, and it's actually been kind of nice to actually be able to race like this. I'm not afraid about people being dickheads or anything like that. You know, it's been kind of quite nice actually. Now, as you can see, I think that's is that the Netherlands? I think it's the Netherlands. Dragon obviously had a bit of a rough chicane, so I managed to overtake him, get past him, and climb up in 9th. Set my new fastest lap of 1:47.5. I know you could probably get that to be a few seconds faster, but all in all, well, I think a 1:47.5 for the average person, for the average driver, I don't think that's too bad at 1:47.5. But I definitely know it can be a little bit faster, definitely. Alright, so still got a bit of a gap between me and Dragon, and a bit of a gap between me and the Spanish driver in 8th. Unfortunately, I can't see his name from here. So on my screen it's all tiny and blurred and I can't read that. So no idea what his name is at the moment. But so we're going to try, you know, we still got a couple of laps left. and I'm only like, I think I'm only like what, about a few seconds behind 8th, so you know I could possibly catch up just as long as Dragon doesn't attempt to fight too much with me. Because obviously if we start fighting one another, we're going to lose ground on 8th place. So, you know, the best bet is to try and work together where we can. But then also at the same time, since we're in the last couple of laps, now is the kind of sort of time where you would start to think about obviously trying to keep the position that you're in. So it's trying to work out that balance of whether do you defend a bit more and fight with the other person behind you, or do you just work together but potentially lose the position but never able to gain it back. So it's like, especially since we've only got basically 2 laps left. So I've still got Dragon behind me and he is catching up. So I think he's in the Jaguar, I think. So I think the Jaguar is a little bit faster than the TT. I think the TT is a little bit better in the corners and has a bit more grip, but I think the Jag is a bit faster on the straight lines. Which obviously there's a few places on this track where he can utilise that power to catch up. I think we managed to catch up with 8th for a little bit. Still, you know, still a little bit behind, but we managed to catch up a little bit. So I've decided here, you know, I'm going to take the defensive mode. We've only got a couple of laps left. I didn't want to chance him, the Dragon there, to sort of like try and do like a dive bomb overtake. Obviously he has a bit of a faster exit on the thing. He's trying to overtake there, but he doesn't have the speed. But I'm thinking like, now is not a good time to try and overtake, especially now that we come to the chicane. So, you know, it wasn't a good time to try and overtake there. That's why I decided to slowly move to the right, just to sort of like, right, I'm going to take this line. You might want to ease off just a little bit because you're not going to overtake because you don't have the speed right now, and plus also, now is not the best time to do it. See, now is a good time for him to overtake, which he does eventually. He does eventually overtake. But I knew he was going to overtake there, so it's alright. I'm going to make sure just, you know, leave enough space. I'll try to take the inside line if I can here. Not quite. So he keeps 9th. But he has a little bit of a wobble, so he doesn't gain too much ground on me there. And then we come up to Semtex. You know, we're going to catch up with Semtex here. You know, so you know, he takes a bit of a weird line there. Then there's obviously a bit slower there. Dragon tries to overtake. Semtex cuts him off. Semtex has to slow down. I have to go past Dragon. I have to try and pass Semtex. And then Semtex, I don't know. He's just, I don't know. He's just being a bit funny. He tries to push me off, or bug me up. But obviously it fails. He goes wide. He loses both positions. And it was like, wow, that was kind of pointless, wasn't it? I mean, that's like the only, from my perspective anyway, apart from that one stunt earlier with the one driver, with the French driver, who should have got a penalty, but he didn't. That's like the only other sort of like, kind of like, dirty driving in my race, from my perspective, that I saw. But but that's not to say that that was the only lot. There was probably other bits here and there as well, but I didn't see anything else. But all in all, the race itself has not actually been too bad. It's actually been quite smooth. I'm going to take the defensive line here, just in case. Just be better to be safe than sorry. Managed to keep my 8th position, get around the corner, and Dragon isn't close enough on this occasion to actually overtake here. And I'm trying to keep him out of the slipstream, so I bring home 8th place. So yeah, not the most exhilarating, not the most enthralling, not the most spectacular race I've ever seen or ever done, but not a bad race in the end at all, really. But that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe and share this video with some of your friends. And until next time, I'll see you all later.